Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, guys. So the plugin download takes a lot of time, and sometimes I've seen that if you have really bad internet, it may take even a couple of hours. So even if we are done with the session and you're still downloading the plugins and it's not done, uh, like I said, you can work offline and then submit your work. So today's submissions, there are two actually. Let me just show you guys. So one is the NESSUS. It says NESSUS installation, but you have to submit the scanning here, okay? Which means you will perform the vulnerability scan, and I will show you how to perform the scan and then what exactly you need to submit. So this
Okay.
one. The second is the scanning of the networks. It's different. It's not NESSUS. We have to use NMAP, and I will just show you some of the basics of NMAP, and then I will tell you what exactly you need to submit, okay? So if you are done with the NESSUS installation and the plugins have been downloaded, you will see something like this when you log in for the first time. I can close it now so that, I can show you how to perform a scan. So for today's submission, the first submission for NESSUS is that you need to perform a scan on a target system to find out if it has vulnerabilities or not. How do you do that? Let me just...
So the target is in the chat. The target that they have to scan. It's in the chat.
Okay, so they already have a target on the network. Is it? No, I
On
don't.
the web actually. On the web actually.
On
It
the
is in
web.
the chat.
Okay, so you guys have got the link that you need to scan this one, even
That-
if you have, yeah.
Yeah, the assignment says target your router. So I did target my
Yeah.
router.
Yeah, so this is what I was going to say. If you have to scan something locally, for example, right now I have two virtual machines. So this is Windows 7 machine, which has a lot of vulnerabilities, of course. And this is the Linux machine. And then I'm running NESSUS right now on my, host machine. So wherever you have installed the NESSUS, Windows or Linux, you will get this window, and it says create a new scan. It also shows it here on the top right side that you need to create a scan. So you click on the scan, and then you will see that what are the options that you have that you can use. Some of them, they requires the upgrade. For example, here, they come with a a commercial version. So the first thing that we will do, which is for today, is basically the basic network scan here to find out the vulnerabilities. So if I click here, you can give a name. For example, I'll say this is my first scan, and it's not necessary that you need to give a description, but when you're working in a professional work environment, you always give a proper name and then proper description for whatever you're trying to scan. Now here you can write the targets that you're going to scan. If you want to scan the URL, which is given here, you can copy the URL, which is in the chat box. If you want to scan your machine locally, you need to know the IP address. So for example, what I'm going to do is that I have another virtual machine, which I don't think you have at this point. So I would suggest either to use the URL that is in the chat box, or you can scan your own host machine where the NESSUS is installed. So first I will show you this 36.129, and you can also put more IPs. The thing that you have to keep in mind is that it's a community edition, so you cannot give more than 16 IP addresses, number one. And number two is that if you give more IPs to scan, it will take more time to perform the scan. So to keep it simple, just give one target and then run the scan and see what vulnerabilities do you get. Okay, so I have the target 36.129, which is a local Windows 7 machine. So I just write 192.168.36.129. Yeah, 129. Like I said, you can put the URL, you can put the IP, you can scan your local machine. You just need to know the IP address, and then just simply save the scan. Once you have saved the scan, it appears like this, and I haven't started the scan yet. So you can see here a small play button that says launch. When you point your mouse there, you can start the scan. Now again, NESSUS takes a lot of time to do the scanning. So it is going to, I don't know, take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on, the system that you are scanning, how many applications are running on it. So I will leave it there to complete the scan, and then I will come back again to show you the report and what vulnerabilities are present in this particular target that I have selected. This is for the first lab for today, which is, I'm just showing you again and again so that you know what you need to submit, okay? So if it's a repetition of some information, just pardon me. Yeah, so this is, once the report is generated, then you will submit it here in the NESSUS installation. Now let's jump to the second one, which is scanning the network. So this is basically the NMAP. NMAP, how many of you guys know what is NMAP? Can you raise your hand? You can lower your hands, all of you first, and then I just want to see how many of you are aware of the NMAP.
It's look like a packet tracer.
No.
No, it actually scans your network
Yeah.
and maps it. to
Okay,
you.
let me give you a brief introduction on what NMAP is actually. So NMAP is basically a scanner. It's one of the best scanning tools. The primary job of NMAP is not to scan the vulnerabilities. So do not confuse NMAP with NESSUS. NESSUS goes to your target and scans and finds out if it's vulnerable or not. And if it is vulnerable, what kind of vulnerabilities are present. NESSUS comes actually NMAP comes before NESSUS, okay? So the order is a little bit different in what is on the platform. But first, remember, in the hierarchy, first is the NMAP. NMAP tells you if the other target that you're trying to scan, is it actually alive or not? Is it switched on? If you find out that it's switched on, you can go ahead and do step number 2, which basically means that now you want to find out if there are any ports which are open on the target system or not. When I say that the ports are open, it means that if there are any entry points or some applications which are running on the target, so you can do that using NMAP, not NESSUS, okay? And then you can also find out what services are running using the NMAP. So NMAP is really like, the king of scanners, I would say, and it's completely open source. There are no licenses that you need to purchase. So one of the best scanners out there is NMAP. Okay, so this is a brief introduction of NMAP. Now let me show you. So for NMAP, it's already available in Kali. So let me just log in. And clear it. So there is a command line version also for NMAP, and there is a GUI version of NMAP, which is ZenMap, but we are going to work with the command line version. So if you write just NMAP here, for example, that's it, that you can start working with NMAP by just simply writing NMAP. If I press enter, it gives you all the list of options which are available in NMAP. So for example, there is -IL, -IR. You don't have to use all of them in this lab. It's just an introduction to the NMAP. So don't get confused, like, what is this? Do I need to study all of them? Well, at this point, you don't need to. Okay, so you don't need to worry about all these options. But I'm just telling you that if you write NMAP and press enter, you will see all the host discovery options that you have, -SL, -SN. So I will show you the first one, which is the starting point, or the basic one. We call it the ping scan. I know that you can also use ping to do the ping scan, but NMAP gives you much more options than a normal ping. So let me show you that if I use NMAP with -SN, what can I do with it? Okay, so let's just say that I'm on the network of 192. So I just wrote ifconfig and I just checked my IP. I'm on 192.168.36.128. This is my IP address of Kali. So I'm basically on this network, 36, right? Now, the first thing that I want to check is that how many hosts are available on this network that is 36 network. So let me show you how to do it. So I will write nmap minus SN, which basically means I'm just trying to do the ping scan. I'm not scanning anything else. I just want to see how many hosts are currently alive on the network. So I can write 192.168.36 dot. Now, can anyone tell me that if I want to find out all the hosts which are alive on this network, what do I need to write here? Should I write 128? Should I write 1? Should I write 2? Should I write all of them?
0.
Okay, she says 0. Okay, we start with the 0. And then that's it?
Then show all the hosts in the network.
Okay, so remember, you might have studied subnetting in your classes, maybe even in the pre-boot camp, you might have studied a little bit about IP addresses. So remember, this is a Class C IP address, and the total number of hosts which can be there maximum is 255, right? Sorry, the total IPs are 256, but obviously the first IP 0 is not assigned. The last IP broadcast is also not assigned to any host. So totally there are 254 IP addresses. Now, if I want to scan the whole network, I just have to write here -255. What it means is that NMAP is going to send a ping request starting with 192.168.36.0. Then it will send a ping request to 36.1, 36.2, 36.3, so on and on and on, and it will reach 255. Once it reaches 255, it will keep on giving me results saying that, okay, how many hosts are available out of this whole 254. So let me just press enter and see what is the output. It is going to be pretty quick because it's a simple ping scan. And now you can see that I discovered that there are how many hosts alive on the network. So the first one is 36.1, then is 36.2, then is 36.129, then is 36.254, and then there is 36.128. So out of 256 IP addresses, there are 5 hosts which are up and running, right? So this is how you use NMAP. And this is, like I said, the very, very basic usage of the NMAP that I just performed a ping scan to find out, how many IPs are there or how many hosts are alive. If I have to scan only one IP, I can just write the IP. Now that I know that, these are the IP addresses which are alive on the network, I can just write 128 or 129 to scan a single IP address. So for example, if I just write 36.129, it is going to give me that this host is up. If there is an IP that I'm trying to, let's just say 120, which is not up, and I try to find out if it is up or not, you will see that it says that the host is not up. Okay. So this is the first, command that you can use in NMAP to find out if the hosts are alive or not. Now let me switch back to my Windows machine and okay, so the IP that my target machine has is 36. Are you guys typing something? So what is the IP for the router or the PC or the network? Okay, so I think what Shahad is trying to say that what is the IP address of the router to which you are connected? If that's your question, the answer is very simple. You go to your host operating system and you just write ipconfig. Okay, now my machine has a lot of interfaces. So anyways, let's say I'm connected to the wireless router, right? And my wireless router has given this host 1.166. So basically, always the default gateway is the IP address of the router. So in this case, the IP address of my router is 1.1. If you see right now, I'm on this network within the Kali. So if I want to scan my Windows machine for Kali, so what I'm trying to say here is that if I go back to the Kali and I want to scan the Windows machine from here, the Windows 10 machine, which is this one, I need to just write here 36.1. And this will start scanning my Windows 10 machine. Okay, is this clear? Does it answer your question, Shahid? All right. Okay, so let me see what else they want you to do in the NMAP here on the platform. So yeah, so this is the one that I just explained it to you, that how you can okay, so screenshot of your scan results, summary of the results in your own words for each IP address on the scan, approximate what services are running on each device. Okay, so I do need to explain you how to use the other options in. So let's just assume that I have selected my target as 129. Now, with -SN, you can only find out if the host is up or not. So no more information than that. No more information than that. If I want to find out what services are running or how many ports are open on this. So let's start with the ports, that how many ports are open. So in order to find out how many ports are open, you can use -S capital S, or you can use -S capital T. Without going into the detail of what is -N and -SS and -ST, if you want to know what is -SS, and you just need to write, I think -help or -help, yeah. So you can find out what is -S and what is -S capital S. Let me show you here. So these are really the scanning techniques that you can perform. So if I write -SS, okay, so this is a TCP SYN scan or synchronization scan, I would say. If it is -ST, this is a TCP connect scan. If it is -SA, this is an acknowledgement scan. So let me just try to keep it simple and use a TCP synchronization scan, SYN scan. Even if at this point you, because I don't want to give you a lecture on the TCP right now, but I'm just saying that if you have any doubts, you can always ask us. So 192.168.36.129. Remember, please, guys, do not use the IPs that I'm using. Do not scan 36.129 because you will not get any results. Your network is different. My network is different. So I've seen this mistake. Many students are doing this mistake. So let me see. Okay, so there's no chat. Okay, so I'm going to use -SS as a SYN scan. And what do I get in return? I'm scanning only one IP address. And what I see here is that there's port 21, which is open. And there's a service running, FTP. There is port 80, which is open. Obviously, HTTP is running, 135 Microsoft Remote Procedure Call, NetBIOS, and so on. So for your lab submissions, the first thing you will do is -SN. The second thing you will do is -SS to find out how many ports are open. And now you can really see that the service is FTP, but I don't know what is the exact version of this service, which is, so if I want to dig more, that okay, because not every version of a service is vulnerable. There might be certain versions, like for example, FTP service, there's a service running on the target, which is, for example, 1.1. Maybe another target has 2.1. So if 2.1 is working, maybe they fixed the patch and it's no longer vulnerable, but 1.1 is still vulnerable. So if I find out the service version, it is great, because then I can actually find out if I can actually hack or exploit this machine. So let me show you how you can find out the version of the service here in NMAP. So again, the command is very simple. You just need to use -S with the capital V, and there you go. So we will see this time that it not only shows the port number and the service, but there will be one more column here showing the version, the exact version of the service that is running, right? So let's just wait for the outcome and see.
Mr. Asad,
Yeah,
is Kali Linux command lines a sensitive key?
yes, it is. So if I, for example, write -SV, small v, it will not work.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Asad,
Yeah,
The 21 port, it says FTP. Is
Yeah.
it file transfer protocol or something else?
Exactly. Yes, it is file transfer protocol. You guessed
So
it.
yeah, okay. Is it the port where most of the hacks come from?
Well, it really depends. I mean, I cannot really say that, FTP running on port 21 is vulnerable, and if it is open, you can really hack it. It
Yeah.
depends the type of service which is
I
running.
guess
Yeah.
I don't know, but I've heard it's 21 and of 445 45. Yeah.
No, not necessarily. We
The
will come to the discussion of exploitation later on, but
Okay.
right now we can just keep it, till the point that, you want to find out what exact service. So you can see here that there is a new column now added here, although it doesn't show me the version of FTP service, but most of them you can see that HTTP, for example, here it's running a version of Microsoft Internet Information Server, HTTPD 7.5, which is, a great information for me. Because maybe if I want to check, like, if this particular version is vulnerable or not, I'm just telling you generally, okay? And similarly, this machine, the one that I'm running, doesn't have a lot of, applications running. So on a normal system, like if I scan my host, you will see plenty of applications and the versions are displayed here. Another interesting thing that you can see here is that by scanning this on port 445, it has actually found out that this could be a Microsoft Windows operating system. And then the work group is ISET. So although I didn't ask for this information, but it has grabbed this information from port 445 as well. Let's just say that I want to find out the operating system of this target. Again, it's very simple. You just put minus capital O, and it's going to go, minus O stands for the operating system, and it's going to find out what kind of operating system is being used. So if you can see here that it says that it's probably running Microsoft Windows 7, 2008, and 8.1. Now you might say that, okay, why it did not give me an exact operating system saying that it is Windows 7? Well, the answer to that question is that whenever NMAP is trying to dig out a specific information, it does it on the basis of the signatures. So probably the signatures, there is some kind of match of signatures between 8.1, 2008, and 7. So in this case, it is giving you kind of a probability that, okay, it could be 7, it could be 2008, it could be 8.1 as well. But there's another command which is more of an aggressive scan, which actually will give you exactly that this is the exact version of the operating system. But let me get back to, and that will take more time, of course. So right now I have explained you or showed you a simple ping scan with -s. Then I showed you a TCP SYN scan by -s capital S. And then I showed you the version to find out what version of service is running. Then I showed you the type of the operating system which is running. Now, I do not recommend normally -a. Okay, I do not recommend it to the students. The reason why I don't recommend is because it's an aggressive scan. -a stands for aggressive. So if I do the aggressive scan, it is going to generate a lot of traffic on the network. And also it is going to raise alerts to the intrusion detection system in the firewall if there is any on the network. So, but since I'm doing it locally on my machine, I'm just going to go ahead with it. And I will show you what kind of information you can get from the aggressive scan. So let me read the chat. Oh, yes, I forgot. Yes, you guys can take a break. I don't know how long is it. Derek is there or Some, and he can tell us for how long the break could be.
Hey, Asad, we can assign them like 10 minutes break if they're fine with that.
Yeah, guys, 10 minutes is enough for you guys. Okay, great. So I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. While in the meantime, my scan is going on here, and the scan for the NESSUS is also going on in parallel. So hopefully it will be done when you get back. Okay. We'll take a
Uh,
break and see you in 10 minutes. And
have a
guys, one more thing.
Okay.
So the new rules are not the new rules, actually, these are the rules. I just came to know now that even if you finish the lab, you have to stay till 4 p.m. I will take an attendance by the end of the session, and then you guys can leave. Okay.
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 I have a question now. When I scan my IP with NS, I only get one host. I don't
Yeah.
get multiple hosts like you. And when I do the SS scan, it's only give me, it says, like all the ports are closed in my
Alright.
machine, 1,000 ports. So I'm just wondering if, like I did not get, like open ports and things like this.
Well,
What should I do? Should I just submit what I have or?
well, that's a great if all the ports are closed and
Yeah.
it really depends on the target that you're scanning. So what I understand, probably you're targeting your own router
I'm targeting my own
host.
my own host machine, the Linux one, as it was
Ah,
mentioned
okay.
in the
Yeah.
assignment.
Okay.
So
Let me
should I
show you.
target something else?
No, let me show you what you are saying and what you're getting so that, we get to the same point. So what you're trying to do, I think probably is that you're trying to, let's just say minus SS, sorry, minus SS 192.168.36.128. Basically, that's the IP of my Kali Linux. So when I perform this, I think you're getting the same outcome as this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so which is okay. The reason why, because not every system has all the ports open, and secondly, it depends on the operating system security itself. So my Kali Linux, for example, is actually most of the ports are closed. There is no FTP, there is no other service, and also it is filtering the scan. I mean, it is not allowing NMAP to actually show. Okay, what is it? Disconnect certificate chain is not complete. Okay, right. So which is okay, but my suggestion or recommendation to you will be, rather than scanning and getting no results, you won't actually get the feel of NMAP unless you scan a certain URL or a certain IP address, which can actually show you that there are some services running and the ports are open. So
Yeah.
I recommend, yeah.
Should I scan my own machine?
Yes,
Like the
better.
actual machine?
Yes, that's better. And then you will also come to know what is the security level of your host operating system and what services are running there. So it would be good
Okay.
for you as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we have to submit now? One NS, one NC, Bing, and one in SS.
No, minus SS, so minus SN, and then minus SS, and then minus SV, and then minus O. At least submit these four. I don't ask you to submit minus A, but if you want, you can do that.
Okay, give me a second. I want to just take a screenshot of that so I don't forget them.
Or let me just see what they have written in the platform. So just to keep it on the same. Let's say is that screenshot of your scan results, summary of the results for each
Yeah.
IP address, approximate what services are running on each device. So I think they're not asking all of the ones that I explained to you. So
Yeah,
so
none
what
of
you
them.
can, yeah, so what you can do is you can go till this point that if you want to see what services are running, at least you can use minus SS to show me. Okay. All of
Okay,
it.
so only do these two, SS
Yeah.
and SN.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I will do that in my host machine and see if I have different result, and I will let
Yes.
you know.
You will get different results. I'm sure about that. Okay.
Okay, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, guys. See you in 10 minutes. Okay. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Swami, once the students come back, and I'll just show them the report of the NESSUS, and then you can create the breakout room so that they can work for another 30 minutes in the breakout rooms. Sounds okay?
Got it. Yep, fine by me.
Okay, thanks.